Hey guys, so true to my word, I watched Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace last night, and I have some thoughts. First and foremost, I apparently, when I watched these movies years ago, I guess because I've only watched it really once, I don't remember anything. It was like watching it brand new, so we're gonna treat it as such. As such, I'm going to consider me a newbie watcher of Star Wars, I have thoughts. So let's get into it, shall we? First of all, Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor, so young, so beautiful. They're babies. Like, literally, I looked at Ewan McGregor and I was like, you're a child. Oh my God, so young, so young. Also, completely forgot that Liam Neeson was in this movie. Till like at the very beginning, and then they show him at the beginning, and I was like, oh my God, wow, I completely forgot that he was in this, even in this film. He did a good job. I like Liam Neeson, he's a good actor. So there were some thoughts that I had. I took notes. Not last night, but this morning, today, while I was thinking about it for my update. I am interested to see Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor become Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm interested in his character, to see his character develop, especially now that, he's the master and he's got a young Padawan to train. Speaking of the young Padawan, Anakin Skywalker. He's so sweet. He's a cutie patootie. So cute, but also like super smart and like good with his tools, and like he built the pod racer that he used. Like, that's impressive for a child of what, 10, 11 maybe? I mean, he's a little kid. So yeah, I'm interested to see that relationship develop. That's going to be fun. Although I will say this, so Yoda has a line to Obi-Wan at the end of the movie where he says, Qui-Gon's defiance I sense in you. Defiance, you say? Say more, Yoda. I need to know what that was. What happened there? There was something that happened there. Then there's another thing that Yoda said, just to touch on Yoda while we're there. Fear is the path to the dark side. Why fear? Why fear? That's interesting. There's lore there. Let's dig in. I'm excited. I want to dig into that lore because there's, I've seen the Force and all this stuff. I've not been living under a rock for 30-something years. But fear is the path to the dark side. There's something there. I want to find out more. The Star Wars universe is massive. It's huge. I did not even think about it. Like, I guess because, the title, In a Galaxy Far, Far Away. Okay, well, and I guess I don't think often about what a galaxy is and how I live, because I live on a galaxy. I live in the Milky Way, but like, I don't think about that on a daily basis, and how many other, I know the planets in our solar system, but those aren't all the planets in our galaxy. And anyway, the science fiction universe is so deep and massive and very interesting. I'm not intellectual and mathy enough to get all the science out of science fiction, but it's very interesting. I'm very intrigued. Naboo looks like a nice place to visit. I'm just saying. It's got all the pretty waterfalls. The castle looks really pretty. It kind of gives me ancient Rome vibes. Not that I've ever been to ancient Rome or to modern day Rome for that matter, but from the pictures and, film and media I've seen, it's giving me vibes. Especially at the end when they were doing the parade with the Gungans, and they were marching toward Padme so she could present the orb of peace to their leader. That I was like, giving me kind of triumph vibes. Not sure why. Back to Padme. Question for you. How did she become queen? She's awful young not to have a regent. She can't be older than 14, 15. it's kind of young to be just ruling on your own. I mean, maybe they don't have regents in this universe, but just seems kind of young to be making all them decisions by herself. I mean, she's capable, don't get me wrong. She's a baddie. I love it. But she's kind of young. It actually made me, on the same vein, it made me I literally laughed out loud at the beginning when the Federation guys were like, she's young and easy to manipulate. I was like, okay, I hadn't even met the girl yet, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't buy that. What else? The costumes slapped. Like, oh my God. And not even just like, and I'm sticking with Padme for a minute because hers were the more elaborate of the costumes. And even when she was like not up in her makeup and like was just running around with her little updo, running around the palace, I was like, okay, girl, okay, looking cute. I see you. The pod race scene was very, very cool. It was a little bit too long for me. Like, it just kind of kept going. It made it interesting, but and it definitely gave me Ben-Hur vibes. If you've ever seen Ben-Hur or read it, or in either of them, there's been a couple versions of it. But the chariot race scene, that's, the circle. Especially because the whole point is, you think, oh, it's not a contact sport. Yeah, it is. The fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon and Darth Maul was really cool. I don't know anything about... I took stage combat in college, but that was like many years ago. Around the same time I watched the series for the first time. And so I don't know how accurate, what kind of technique they were using. I'd be interested to know. But the double lightsabers was cool. And of course, the tragicness of losing your mentor would be devastating. So kudos to Obi-Wan for stepping on up to train young Padawan. And the last thing that I really chuckled at was the scene where they're retaking the palace. They're trying to get the bad guys out, and Qui-Gon looks at Anakin and he tells him to hide, and Anakin, being Anakin, runs up into a fighter jet and sits in the cockpit, and he says, "Stay in the cockpit." I was like, that made me chuckle because I was like, oh, he will. He'll stay in the cockpit. The cockpit's not going to stay in the hangar, but he'll stay in the cockpit. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Again, I'm going to treat this like I've never seen it because it's been too long for me to remember anything. Like, for real. So I'm going to treat this as if I've never seen it, and I'm watching it chronologically. Y'all can come at me in the comments, and if you have any answers to the questions that I posed about, like, the regency of Naboo, or the lore of why is fear the, like, path to the dark side. That's interesting. I want, like, if you have any of that information, hit me up. I'd like to know. So if you like, if you're liking what I'm doing, I'm going to keep doing it. In the meantime, I'll see you later. Bye.